say that Pinterest was the main source of their traffic and their income, I used to be there saying, okay, great, but I mean, can that really be a thing? Like, can just publishing pictures on a social media platform be a thing? How is Pinterest different from the likes of Facebook and Instagram and all of those types of things? Well, I used to think like that, then I learned how to use Pinterest properly and effectively, and I get 60% of my overall traffic and overall sales as a result from Pinterest itself. So if you'd like to know how I manage this, continue watching. If you have a handmade business of any kind, really Pinterest is fantastic for you. I've never really spoken to any Etsy shop owner where I've thought actually Pinterest might not work for you as well. But yeah, literally if you sell t-shirts, wedding invitations, jewelry, scarves, wallets, art, printables, whatever, Pinterest is going to have an audience for you. Now, why I love Pinterest so much is that it's much more of a visual platform. So obviously you've got to be quite good at taking product photos, but it's not all about your product photos. It's also about making boards that attract your target market. So if you aren't any good at taking your product pictures, please go and view some of the other videos on my channel that will show you how. Also, if you don't know who your target market is, please go and watch a video on target market on my channel. There's loads that I have on there, so just go and have a little watch of that, because you will need those two things to make your Pinterest profile pop. That's a mouthful. So now I'm going to take you into my computer and show you exactly what I do. This is literally not edited at all. This is literally what I do every single month to get the results that I've mentioned before. Let's have a look. Today we are in my computer. I am showing you my screen and sharing that with you. Today I'm going to show you exactly how I get 4 million monthly viewers to my Pinterest account. Now, Pinterest is definitely my favourite social media account. It's where I tend to shine. It's also where the majority, well, to be fair, 80% of my social media sales come from. So it's obviously a really, really important social media source and sales source for me. So today I'm going to show you the kind of strategy that I use to get my monthly viewers up to this amount here. And as you can see, 16.8 million impressions, 60k saves and 23k link clicks. Now, I do share a lot of my own products, which have obviously my own links to my website and my Etsy shop in there as well. So you can see that here's proof that obviously the 4 million monthly viewers does account for 23,000 link clicks, which is fantastic. Now I'm just going to take you over to my profile, just so you can see the type of profile that I actually have. So as you can see, let's head to the boards section. I do have quite a fair few boards. Now let's just go to my pins section, because I think you'll be shocked. 17,556 pins, so that is obviously quite a lot of pins. But don't fret, you don't have to go, you know, as mad as I have with the pinning. It's not all about how much you pin, although that is a very important factor for this. So the whole idea of Pinterest and the kind of strategy that I've gone with myself is that you have to really identify your target market, and you have to make sure that you create boards that they would be interested in. So as you can see here, I've got travel pins, I've got tattoo pins, I've got constellation pins, living room ideas, kitchen ideas, blogging tips. So I've taken into account, now my target market is females that are more kind of millennials that are going through life transitions themselves. So they've got some chakra bits and bobs as well. They probably have just moved into their first home or are buying their first house. So obviously they'd quite like to host Christmas at their place. So I've got some Christmas recipes and things like that as well. Now a lot of them travel or have travelled. So I've got quite a few travel boards and things like that there as well. And I've got gift guides, Christmas tree ideas. All of my boards fit into my target market. Now, some clues to this are the kind of products that I sell. So, for example, the idea for the Zodiac boards came from the idea that my Zodiac jewellery 1 month sold ridiculously well. So I figured now this is obviously some kind of interest in my target market, so I created these boards here. And basically, the whole idea is to go through and just really get a real in-depth insight
as to who your target market is. Now, I will be making a video on my channel. It may be up, it might not be up, but go and take a look on my channel because I'll be making a video about how to create a target market mood board and a brand mood board, all with Pinterest, and I can show you mine in those videos as well. So obviously, just scrolling down, there's all sorts here. The biggest focus for my Pinterest account is weddings. So you'll see that I've got red wedding dresses, I've got themed coloured weddings as well. So I've got yellow weddings, blue weddings, wedding gifts, wedding favour ideas, all that type of thing as well. Now, the trick with this is to obviously make boards. Now, I would say it needs to be 80% of other pins on Pinterest. So for example, let's just pop onto the tourist board here. And obviously, mostly they are other people's pins. So I've got tourist tattoos, little quotes, things like that. But I've also got some of my own products sort of sprinkled in there as well. So the kind of rule that I like to go with is the 80-20 rule, which I'm sure you guys have heard of lots and lots of times before. I like to pin 80% of other people's pictures or pins, and pin 20% of my own products as well. So it's not a very big board, this one, but it is one that does gain a lot of traction. You can kind of see the kind of views that I've got here. And obviously when a person comes to view your pin, they can come and view the board as well, which is obviously got my products in there. And you can see that my own products have got quite a few views as well. So now let's pop back. So really, that is the biggest thing when it comes to Pinterest. Don't just create random boards because you like them. I mean, Pinterest is very, very fun as well, but just don't get too sucked into what you like. You're creating your Pinterest as like a mood board that your target market can come into and go, wow, this company completely understands me and what I'm all about. And then you'll get followers, which are, no, I can't find where they are now. Can't find where they are, but anyway, then you'll get people that follow your boards, and so every single pin that you pin onto your boards, you will then, the followers will get a notification, or it will come up on their home feed, which also naturally would include your own products as well. And the same thing as well, like for example, I've got wedding boards, so I've got blue wedding dresses, blue themed weddings. I've then put in blue themed products or purple themed products and things like that. So naturally, you have to make sure that the products that you're pinning onto these boards are niched and are applicable to those boards. Now, the same thing can apply again, is basically you have to be quite niched with your boards. So as you can see, I've not just done a zodiac board, I've done Aries, Aquarius, all the different zodiac signs, I've done a board for each. And the same here as well, blue living room, blue kitchen ideas. I've really kind of niched it down just because that way that your target market will go onto that board and go, this is exactly what I want. I'm going to check out their profile and see what other boards they have. So the more niche you can get with your boards, the better. And the beauty with it is that, you know, let's say, for example, you sell nursery prints, like really colourful, bright nursery prints, is that you don't have to have one board that's like bright, colourful nursery decor and pin your own prints in there. You could go for red, blue, yellow decor. Literally, you could break it down into so many boards. And also with that as well, is it's not just about nursery decor. You could do one board for baby shower gifts for under £10, under £20. And there's lots of different board ideas that can branch off of one singular idea. So don't just think that just because you sell prints that your profile has to just be about prints. So now I'm going to take you onto one of my boards. Let's go back onto this one. And up here, you can see that I've got a random array of keywords. Now, these aren't just random. I have actually researched these. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it now. So go onto the home page, and let's say you do nursery prints. Let's just go with that example. And I'm going to type it in here. You know what I'm going to do first? I'm just going to type in colourful nursery. Then what I do is I open up a notepad here, and at the top here you get so many different keyword ideas. Now, Pinterest is, honestly, it's so amazing for getting keyword ideas because a lot of people shop from Pinterest. Believe me, it's a thing. So what I do is I type in anything relating to my board. So for example, with the Taurus board, I'll type in literally Taurus up here, and it will come up with all sorts of keywords here. So let me just show you that one, just to get you a good idea of what I mean. So up here it's got aesthetic, zodiac, facts, April, tattoo, art, men, women, relationships, etc, etc. But going back to our colourful nursery idea, what I would be doing is you have to think about what your board will specifically be about. So for example, let's say you want to create a board on yellow nursery. Now, you being the maker, you know that you have a collection of about 12 yellow nursery prints that would fit in really, really well with this board. And it's important as well to type in your board idea, scroll through and see if your prints naturally kind of fit in with the aesthetic that is coming up in the results. So obviously here, now let's just say for example that you make these types of prints here, you can see that pretty well they match in really, really well. So this board idea is a winner. Now let's go on to the keyword ideas. So what I would be looking up here is anything that fits in with my board. So I'd be doing yellow nursery girl. Ooh, let me make sure I spell it right. Comma, yellow nursery walls. So you can see what I'm doing here is that I am just literally going through and typing in yellow nursery and then the keyword that comes up here. And what this does is that it just makes sure that your board is being shown up for these search results. Now, obviously don't put any keywords that aren't, you know, applicable to your board or the pins on that board or the products that will be on that board. So for example, mint, let's say that there is no green on this board, no mint at all, or no grey, or no blue. Don't obviously put that in your keywords because then it just creates a bit of a disconnect for those people that are trying to search for these particular keywords here, or in this case, these colours here. So then obviously I'm just going to show you three because I'm not going to go through and type in everything. But then what you want to do, now that you've got a general aesthetic, you've got a list of keywords here, you want to copy those ever so quickly as well. You then want to go back onto your profile and you then want to scroll down and go onto boards up here. They recently changed the layout, so I'm just getting to grips with this again. Create a board and let's say you want to do yellow, need to learn how to spell, yellow nursery ideas, just for example. Now it's a good idea to kind of reference this keyword list to see if there's any sort of better keywords titles that you can come up for your board, but for the moment let's just go with this one. Now it will already come up with some pins here. I would recommend just literally saving just some pins just so your board doesn't look a little bit sad and a little bit empty. So I just save about 10 pins just so as the pins are being published and scheduled out. I will show you how to do that in a second, so don't worry if you don't know what I mean. So just as the pins are being scheduled out week by week, your board doesn't just look a little bit empty and sad, because obviously if it didn't have these pins here or pictures here, it would just generally look a little bit sad. So right away, someone that was going to go onto this board would go, yep, I completely agree, I like this board, this is going to be right up my street, so I'm going to follow this, okay? So what you want to do now is don't just leave this, you want to go up here and click the edit button. Now the description is where you want your keywords, so obviously you're going to have a lot more keywords than what I do here. Make sure any spelling errors are all dealt with. The only bad thing with Notepad is that it doesn't do like a spell check thing, so just make sure that you edit that. What kind of board is it? Home decor, this particular board is. There might be more sort of boards for kids and things like that. So for example, if you're wanting to create a board on DIY yellow themed nursery, crafts, whatever, you would do it under this board here, under this category here rather. So you just want to kind of scroll through and make sure that the one that you've selected is the most applicable. You can change the cover. I don't tend to touch this myself. I kind of keep it very simple. And I just click save. So you've set up your board, lovely jubbly. Now what we want to do is to schedule out a whole load of pins. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go back to my yellow nursery search because I'm feeling like this is going to be a winner. Now, I will be using Tailwind. So Tailwind is a paid thing. Now, I do think they have a free trial or a trial period of some sort, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But Tailwind has been the thing that has attributed to my success on Pinterest. I wouldn't recommend anything to you guys if I hadn't used it myself and it had brought me in results that are 10 times what I pay out for it in the first place. But for now, we want to go back onto our Pinterest page and want to make sure to scroll down, because Pinterest has like a scrolling load thing. And before you use Tailwind, you need to load up a whole host of pins. And if your internet is a little bit on the slow side, this can take a while. So just scroll down sort of a good 9 to 10 scrolls, just so it can load up a whole host of pins. Now, go on to Pinterest, make an account. I'm not going to walk you through how to do that, because it does, it really kind of walks you through it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to install the Tailwind Publisher add-on, or extension rather, on Chrome. And what this does is that you click on that, hopefully it will load up okay, there we go. Now, just a word of warning, don't kind of go click happy and go click, 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 because it's quite recently the Tailwind plugin has been a little bit buggy. And it does get a bit confused. So don't go too nuts. I would only obviously click pins that are applicable to your board. And what this does is that as you're clicking your pins, it will automatically schedule them in for days, weeks, months in advance. So you don't have to be going on to Pinterest and pinning every single day. Now, obviously you can do that. That's completely fine. If you know that every single day you're going to have the time to publish 15 to 35 pins a day, that's absolutely fine. However, most of us running an online business just don't get the time. So, but what I'm going to do, and I wouldn't recommend going any more than sort of 80 pins at a time, just because this plugin can get a little bit buggy and slow. Maybe because of my computer, it may work fine for you, but I would just make sure that you're not going to click happy on it. So now I've got my pins saved here. Again, I'm not going to go too nuts just because I just want to show you exactly what to do. I'm going to click the Go Schedule button. And then what it will do is it will populate it in this other window here. So these are all the pins that you have selected. So first things first, start at the top. You want to type your board name. Now, if it hasn't refreshed it, you can refresh it up here. That's fine. It should pop up. There we go. Yellow Nursery Ideas. Fantastic. Now, before you go to schedule all, and by all means you can do that. You don't have to do this next step, but I do feel like this next step has contributed to my success on Pinterest. So what you want to do is, let's move that out the way. You want to go to Notepad, copy the keywords and paste them into each description box here. Now, obviously you can replace the description that's there at the moment, and that's okay. You basically just go all the way down and do exactly what I've done there. Now, there will be some pins like this that says enter a source URL. I don't spend any time on those. I just get rid of them because you can't find the source URL. It'll take you probably years. You have to enter a description in every single pin as well. So some won't have a description in there, or will have a very, very small one. So just pop in your own keywords. And yeah, essentially that is what you do throughout the entire list. You then click Schedule All, and it might take a little while to plop it into your Tailwind account. And then after it's all done, great, your pins have been saved, you click Close and you're done. And that is literally it. Now I'm going to take you over to Tailwind, because obviously I'm going to show you my account. Now you can see that I've got a lot of pins going on here. We've been quite lacking in product pins recently, so what me and my virtual assistant have done. Now, just a side note here, guys, if you want to learn about virtual assistants for your Etsy business and how to find tasks to outsource to them, I have videos like that on my channel at the moment, so please go and check those out. Anyway, back to the content. And also guys, if you haven't liked this video already, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already and all that type of thing. There is a little gift for you in the description box. It's free. Sign up and you get an amazing resource that is related to my channel and this video. Anyway, let's get back to the content. So, as you can see, I have a nice little schedule here. So those pins that we have just saved will go, I need to refresh it first, she says. It's being awfully slow today, guys, I do apologise. Those pins will then be added onto my schedule. So wait for it to load and you will see what I mean. Scroll all the way down to here. And here are our pins. So they've just been whacked onto the bottom of the schedule, which, as you can see, is... Sorry, guys, my computer is really slow. It's doing multiple things in the background, so I think I'm asking too much of it. So, oh, funnily enough, they're going out Christmas Day all the way up to December 26th, Boxing Day. So that means that I literally don't have to touch it now. I can literally just leave it as it is. And this is essentially what I do. Me and my VA... We go through and we batch pins, literally weeks, months. I've done it before. I've done pins for 7 months in advance so that I know that my social media schedule for Pinterest is all done 7 months in advance. And you can totally do that with Tailwind. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to sort out your schedule. So you head here and it says your schedule here. Now, I'm not going to change my schedule because mine is working pretty well for me at the moment. But all of the green slots here are all of the ones that are slots that are being published to, if that makes sense. Basically, all of these time slots, there's a time slot that a pin is going out on my Pinterest profile. All of the ones here are suggested time slots. Now, Pinterest, Tailwind is very, very smart. It does tell you when the best time slots is. But what you want to do is click recreate schedule and you basically tell them exactly how many times a day you want to pin, and that is literally it. You click create schedule or recreate schedule and basically it will shift the existing pins around, so don't worry about losing existing pins, and then it will change your schedule over on your scheduled pins tab down here where I've just been. And it will basically just shift all of your existing pins around. And that is literally it, guys. That is literally what I do. Now, I'm not going to dive too deep into the actual, you know, the ins and outs of how I work my boards and things like that. I don't know if it's too advanced for this video right now. Leave a comment below if that's something that you guys would be interested in, such as where, you know, how I get my board ideas and things like that. But just a little side note, you can also go to the top here, go on the Pinterest homepage, click on that box, don't type anything, and it will come up with ideas for you. So graduation cap designs is actually an existing board that I have, curvy bride, Halloween makeup, all that type of thing. They also have a trending on Pinterest little section here as well to give you some popular pin ideas and board ideas.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Give this video a big thumbs up if you did. Leave a comment, say hello, subscribe if you haven't already for more videos like this coming your way. Check out some other videos on my channel as well because I'm all about Etsy, handmade businesses, money management, all that type of thing on this channel. So if that's something that will interest you, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification to be notified when I upload and be in the know first. I love you all and I shall see you in the next video, guys. Bye!